If your anxiety just spiked out of nowhere, heart jumping, chest tight, mind racing, you're in the right place. That sudden surge hits without warning, a sharp internal jolt that spikes alarm before you can react. There is no emergency you need to solve right now, and nothing requires immediate action. Let the next breath slow slightly as it moves out, not forced, just longer. Stay with this moment. The body is already beginning to settle, even if the mind hasn't caught up yet. You don't need to make anything calm down. That work is already happening underneath awareness. Notice the contact points where your body is supported: chair, floor, or ground. No analysis, just pressure and stability. Support does not change when anxiety rises. Breath moves in through the nose at a natural pace. No correction. Breath moves out a little slower than it came in. This longer exhale signals safety to the nervous system. Heart rate begins to regulate. If the chest feels tight, let it stay tight for a moment. There is no requirement to open it. Muscle guarding releases only when pressure to fix is removed. Another inhale arrives. Steady. The exhale extends again, smooth and even. Carbon dioxide levels rebalance. Breathing efficiency improves without effort. Thoughts may still be loud. That does not mean danger. It means the system was running fast and is now slowing. Feel the jaw. Teeth do not need to touch. Tongue rests heavy in the mouth. This single adjustment reduces threat signaling. Neck muscles soften slightly. Inhale again, short and easy. Exhale longer, steady, unchanged. Blood pressure stabilizes. The baroflex responds. There is nothing wrong with how this feels right now. Panic sensations are uncomfortable, not harmful. They peak, then fall, when not fueled by urgency. Notice the hands. Let the fingers rest instead of curl. Warmth may return gradually. Circulation improves as guarding releases. This is regulation, not distraction. Breath comes in. Breath goes out longer. Nothing else needs attention right now. Just this rhythm repeating. The mind may try to scan ahead, planning, predicting, checking. You don't need to stop that directly. As the body settles, thinking naturally slows. Urgency collapses from the bottom up. Feel the weight of your body again. Gravity is constant. It does not react to anxious thoughts. This steadiness feeds back into the nervous system. Safety signals increase. Another inhale, another longer exhale. Heart rhythm becomes more variable and flexible. That flexibility is calm. If there is pressure in the head or behind the eyes, is less than #0. 1# is greater than let it be neutral. No story is needed. Sensation without interpretation loses intensity. Shoulders can drop a fraction, not pushed down, just allowed to hang. This reduces load on the upper chest and throat. Breathing becomes easier. Inhale arrives. Exhale releases longer again. The body learns from repetition. Each cycle reinforces regulation. You are not trying to get rid of anxiety. You are allowing the system to regulate itself. That distinction matters. Notice the pace of internal speech. Words may start spacing out. Pauses appear naturally. Thinking remains clear, just slower. This is cognitive urgency shutting down. Feet or legs may feel heavier. That heaviness is grounding, not fatigue. It anchors attention into the body. Breath in, breath out, longer, steady. The nervous system tracks this pattern. It responds predictably. There is no need to check if it's working. Checking reactivates urgency. Instead, let regulation continue on its own. Muscles across the back soften. Spine stays upright, supported. Posture stabilizes without effort. Another inhale. Another extended exhale. Each cycle confirms safety again. That message accumulates. You are here. This moment is stable. Nothing is escalating now. Stay with this regulated state. This is a pattern your nervous system can return to any time it needs it. More settling will continue in the next minutes. You do not need to rush ahead. Regulation continues even when attention drifts slightly. You do not have to hold focus tightly. Loose awareness supports calm more effectively. Nothing here needs close monitoring. The system handles this safely on its own. Notice the rhythm that has already formed. Inhale arrives without effort. Exhale remains a little longer, smooth, unchanged. This ratio keeps the nervous system settled. It maintains balance automatically. The body recognizes predictability. Predictability lowers threat signals. Lower threat signals reduce panic pressure. If sensations shift or move, allow that. Movement does not mean escalation. It often means release. Feel the center of the chest again. Not to evaluate, just to notice temperature, pressure, or neutrality. Even neutral sensation is a sign of settling. Absence of alarm matters. Breath in. Breath out, steady and longer. Heart rhythm remains flexible. Flexibility equals resilience. The mind may offer questions. What if this comes back? Those questions do not require answers right now. Nothing bad happens if they remain unanswered. They fade as urgency collapses. Let them pass without engagement. Jaw remains loose. Tongue remains heavy. This keeps cranial nerves calm. Notice the throat. Swallowing is not required. Airway stays open and unthreatened. Breathing confidence increases. That confidence feeds back into calm. Inhale arrives. Exhale releases longer again. The exhale signals no pursuit. The system stops chasing danger. There is space now between sensations, not emptiness. Just space. Space reduces intensity naturally. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Feel the weight of your arms. Let them hang or rest fully. Weight pulls attention downward. Downward attention grounds the system. Grounding reduces mental acceleration. Breath in. Breath out, even longer. Carbon dioxide tolerance continues to improve. Breath hunger fades. If thoughts attempt to speed up again, notice the pace. Do not argue with content. Simply allow internal speech to slow. Shorter phrases, longer pauses between them. This slowing is mechanical, not psychological. It follows the body's state. The body is already stabilizing. Feel the back against support. Pressure remains constant. Consistency communicates safety. Another inhale, another longer exhale. The nervous system recognizes repetition. Repetition builds trust. Anxiety loses leverage when it cannot accelerate you. Right now, there is no acceleration, only steady pacing. Notice the absence of sharp edges in sensation. If anything feels duller, that is settling. If anything feels warmer, that is circulation returning. Breath in. Breath out, long and smooth. No adjustment needed. The system self-corrects. There is no requirement to feel perfectly calm. Functional calm is enough. Functional calm means you can remain present. You are already there. Stay with this steady state. Stability continues to deepen without effort. More regulation will unfold next, the same way it always does when you let it. The nervous system is now operating from a steadier baseline. From here, regulation becomes easier to maintain. Nothing needs to be intensified. Notice how the breath is no longer the main focus. It continues on its own. That autonomy is a sign of safety. Inhale arrives naturally. Exhale remains longer and unforced. This pattern keeps vagal tone active. The body stays regulated without effort. Attention can widen slightly now, not outward, just inclusive of the whole body. Whole body awareness reduces threat focus. Nothing here needs to be watched closely anymore. Feel the midsection. Abdomen moves gently with breathing. Movement here signals deep safety. Digestive muscles soften. Pressure decreases further. Breath in. Breath out, steady and longer. Heart and breath synchronize more efficiently. Efficiency equals calm endurance. Thoughts may still appear. They are thinner now, less convincing. This is not suppression. It is loss of urgency. Notice the space behind the eyes. Tension there can soften slightly. Vision becomes less strained. This reduces hypervigilance. The environment feels more neutral. Inhale arrives. Exhale releases again, longer. Each cycle confirms stability. Stability compounds over time. The body no longer prepares for immediate action. Muscle tone remains available, not rigid. That flexibility is important. You stay alert without being tense. Feel the legs. Weight settles downward. Ground contact remains steady. Downward weight tells the brain there is no need to flee. Urgency continues to dissolve. Breath in. Breath out, smooth and longer. 2-2 tolerance remains balanced. Breath depth stabilizes. If a flicker of anxiety appears, notice its size. Smaller than before. Shorter in duration. This shows regulation is holding. There is nothing to correct. Notice the neck and shoulders again. They do not need to brace. Support is already present. Muscles release in stages. That is normal. Inhale arrives. Exhale extends calmly. Breathing remains quiet. Quiet breathing reduces internal noise. Cognitive pace continues to slow. Thoughts become optional. Attention stays anchored without force. Feel the steadiness of your posture, balanced, upright without effort. This posture holds steady without effort. No collapse. Breath in, breath out, longer, unchanged. The pattern remains predictable. Predictability maintains regulation. There is no urgency to move forward. There is no urgency to retreat. This middle state is stable. Stay here. Regulation will continue building the same way it always does once this baseline is reached. Nothing will be rushed. Stability is now established enough to sustain without constant attention. From this point, the system maintains calm through consistency. Nothing new needs to be added. Breath continues on its own. Inhale arrives naturally. Exhale remains longer and even. This keeps heart rate variability flexible. Flexibility prevents sudden spikes. Notice how the body feels less compressed. Space appears in the torso. That space is functional, not fragile. It supports steady presence. Nothing needs to manage stress anymore. Attention can now rest lightly on sensation, not scanning, not checking, just resting. Resting attention preserves energy. Breath in, breath out, longer, smooth. The nervous system tracks this automatically. It remains regulated without oversight. If thoughts arise about returning to tasks later, let them stay incomplete. Incomplete thoughts do not require resolution now. This reduces performance pressure. Notice the lower back. Support is present. Muscles do not need to hold you upright. Postural effort decreases. Calm endurance increases. Inhale arrives. Exhale releases longer again. Breathing remains quiet and efficient. Efficiency reduces fatigue. The body is no longer preparing for threat. Energy shifts from defense to maintenance. Maintenance feels neutral and steady. Notice the hands again. They remain loose. No gripping. This reduces forearm and shoulder tension. Signals of safety continue. Breath in, breath out, longer and even. Blood pressure remains stable. The baroreflex stays engaged. Cognitive pace remains slow and clear. You are aware without being pulled. Presence holds without effort. If a subtle urge to check or adjust appears, notice it pass. Urges lose power when not acted on. This trains confidence in regulation. Feel the contact of your feet again. Ground remains unchanged. Stability does not depend on mood. That reliability matters. Inhale arrives. Exhale extends calmly. The system remains predictable. Predictability sustains calm across time. There is no need to deepen this state. It is already sufficient. Sufficiency removes pressure. Notice the overall tone of the body, neither tense nor collapsed. balanced. This balance allows function without strain. You can remain here as long as needed. Stay with this regulated baseline. Further stabilization will continue the same way it always does when nothing interferes. Nothing will accelerate. This state is now stable enough to carry forward into activity. Calm does not need isolation to remain present. It holds under light demand. Breath continues at its settled pace. Inhale arrives without notice. Exhale remains longer, even, unchanged. This rhythm supports sustained regulation. Sustained regulation supports clarity. Notice how attention no longer locks onto symptoms. It moves freely. Freedom of attention reduces internal pressure. Pressure fades when it is not tracked. The body remains upright and supported. No bracing. No collapse. Balanced tone allows readiness without alarm. Breath in. Breath out, longer and steady. Heart rhythm stays adaptable. Adaptability prevents spikes under stress. If external sounds or thoughts appear, they register without impact. They do not pull you forward. They do not push you back. Nothing that appears has the power to disturb this state. Notice the face. Eyes rest in their sockets. Forehead remains smooth. Facial muscles signal safety to the brain. Inhale arrives. Exhale extends again. The exhale continues to do the work. No technique is required. The mind now operates with reduced urgency. Thoughts appear as options, not commands. This shift keeps panic from gaining traction. Feel the rib cage move gently. Movement stays lateral and low. This supports efficient breathing mechanics. Efficiency sustains calm over time. Breath in. Breath out, smooth and longer. Carbon dioxide levels remain balanced. Air hunger does not develop. If there is a memory of earlier intensity, let it remain in the past. The body is not reliving it now. Current signals are what matter. Notice the arms again. Weight remains supported. Shoulders do not lift. Upper body tension continues to drain. Inhale arrives. Exhale releases steadily. Breathing stays quiet. Quiet breathing reduces internal monitoring. Cognitive loops lose cohesion here. They do not complete. Incomplete loops dissolve on their own. This is how urgency shuts down fully. Feel the steadiness in the legs. Ground contact remains reliable. Reliability allows confidence to return. Breath in. Breath out, longer and even. The nervous system remains in maintenance mode. No defensive action is needed. There is a quiet readiness present now. Not tension. Not vigilance. Just availability. Notice how time feels less compressed. Moments are no longer crowded. This spaciousness supports clear decision-making. Inhale arrives. Exhale extends calmly. This pattern remains consistent. Consistency protects regulation. If you imagine returning to tasks later, notice the lack of pressure. Tasks exist without urgency attached. That separation is stability. Feel the overall tone of the body again. Balanced, responsive, not driven. Breath in, breath out, smooth and longer. The system stays regulated with minimal input. This efficiency will carry forward. Remain with this grounded presence. The final phase will simply remind you how easily this state returns when needed. Nothing will be rushed. This regulated state is now fully accessible without effort. It does not depend on silence or stillness. It remains available in real conditions. Breath continues in the background. Inhale arrives naturally. Exhale stays longer and even. This pattern is now learned by the system. It reactivates automatically under pressure. Notice how the body holds readiness without tension. Muscles stay responsive is less than #0. 1 hash is greater than not braced. This balance prevents anxiety from rebuilding momentum. Attention remains clear and outward capable. You can engage without losing regulation. Calm is easier to return to now. Breath in, breath out, longer and steady. Heart rhythm stays adaptable. Adaptability is what protects you during stress. The mind now understands this state as normal, not special, not temporary. Normal regulation reduces fear of recurrence. Notice the absence of internal pressure. Where urgency once pushed, there is now space. Space allows choice. Breath continues. No monitoring required. The system manages itself. If a future challenge appears in thought, it does not tighten the body. That link has been interrupted. Thoughts no longer trigger alarms automatically. Feel the steadiness of your core. Support remains present from within and below. This stability anchors confidence. Breath in, breath out, calm and extended. The exhale remains the primary regulator. It continues to signal safety. The nervous system is now in a maintenance loop. It does not need further instruction. This loop is efficient and durable. Notice how awareness stays alert without scanning. You perceive without searching. That state prevents anxiety from reforming. Breath continues. Inhale arrives. Exhale releases longer again. You can move, speak, or think from here without losing balance. This is functional calm. It integrates into daily activity. There is no need to hold on to this state tightly. Holding creates strain. Allowing maintains regulation. Breath in. Breath out, steady and long. The pattern remains predictable. Predictability is what keeps anxiety quiet. If symptoms attempt to reappear later, the body will respond faster. This regulation pathway is now primed. Relief will arrive earlier next time. Notice the overall sense of control returning, not forced control. Reliable control. Breath continues without effort. The system remains grounded. You remain present. This is a baseline your system recognizes. It does not disappear when attention shifts. It stays available. Remain here for a few more moments. Let this regulated state settle fully. Nothing else is required. This baseline now holds without reinforcement. It stays active beneath awareness. You do not have to maintain it consciously. Breath continues at its learned pace. Inhale arrives. Exhale remains longer and smooth. This pattern persists during movement and thought. That persistence matters. Notice how the body no longer reacts sharply to internal changes. Sensations register without escalation. Escalation was the problem, not sensation. Attention now has range. You can place it where needed. You can also let it rest. Choice replaces compulsion. Compulsion is what anxiety used. Breath in. Breath out, long and even. The nervous system continues to self-correct. Self-correction reduces how far anxiety can go. If pressure attempts to return, it arrives weaker, shorter-lived, less convincing. This is not resistance. It is lack of fuel. Feel the steadiness through the torso again. No gripping. No collapse. Balanced tone keeps energy available. Energy without urgency is usable. Breath continues. Inhale arrives naturally. Exhale remains the anchor. Cognitive space stays open. Thoughts can enter and exit. They no longer stack. Stacking is what created overwhelm. That pattern no longer has momentum right now. Notice how time feels workable again, not rushed, not frozen. This restores functional pacing. You can act without pressure. Breath in. Breath out, steady and long. Heart rhythm stays adaptable. Adaptability is maintained automatically. If you check the body now, there is no alarm signal. Only neutral presence. Neutral is enough. Feel the legs again. They support without effort. Support does not fluctuate. That reliability reinforces calm. Breath continues. No instruction needed. The system knows this pattern. You can carry this state into conversation, work, or decision-making. It does not collapse under engagement. It stabilizes engagement. Notice the absence of internal commentary. Less explaining. Less monitoring. Silence here is clarity, not emptiness. Breath in. Breath out, long and smooth. This rhythm is now default. Defaults matter under stress. There is confidence in how the body responds now, not optimism. Evidence-based confidence. Remain with this steady presence. The next phase will consolidate how this state stays available long-term. Nothing will shift abruptly. This regulated state now functions as a stable reference point, not something you hold, something the system returns to automatically. Breath remains settled in the background. Inhale arrives without notice. Exhale continues longer and even. This rhythm is now familiar to the body. Familiarity reduces threat detection. Notice how reactions no longer stack on each other. One sensation does not trigger another. The chain reaction no longer has momentum. Attention stays available and flexible. You can narrow it briefly. You can widen it again. Flexibility keeps the nervous system resilient. Breath in. Breath out, steady and long. Heart rhythm remains adaptive. Adaptation prevents sudden spikes. If stress appears later today, it will meet less resistance. Less resistance means less amplification. Amplification is what created overwhelm before. Feel the steadiness through the spine. Upright without effort. Supported without tension. This alignment holds steady on its own. Breath continues. no pacing required. The system regulates itself. Cognitive clarity remains intact. You are not foggy. You are simply slower and steadier. That steadiness improves judgment. Notice how internal urgency no longer drives behavior. Decisions wait until needed. Waiting does not feel dangerous. Breath in. Breath out, longer again. The exhale continues to reinforce safety. Safety cues remain consistent. If the body sends a brief signal later, it will be interpreted correctly. Signal does not equal threat. Correct interpretation prevents panic loops. Feel the weight of the body once more. Downward pressure remains constant. Constancy grounds attention. Grounded attention is difficult to destabilize. Breath continues. Inhale arrives. Exhale remains the anchor. The nervous system now trusts this pace. Trust reduces monitoring. Monitoring was a major source of stress. Notice the quiet confidence present now. Not excitement. Not relief chasing. Just steadiness. Breath in. Breath out, smooth and long. This rhythm will reappear automatically when needed. You do not have to remember it. If attention shifts away after this session, regulation remains. It does not depend on focus. It depends on learned pattern. Feel the body as a whole again. Integrated. Responsive. Not fragmented. Breath continues without effort. The system stays grounded. You remain present. This state now stabilizes across time, not just this moment. It holds even when attention shifts outward. That durability matters. Breath continues in the background. Inhale arrives naturally. Exhale remains longer and steady. This pattern no longer needs reinforcement. It is integrated. Notice how the body no longer searches for confirmation. No checking. No scanning. Searching was tied to uncertainty. Uncertainty has dropped. Attention now rests where it is placed. It does not slip into threat monitoring. This reduces background strain. Breath in. Breath out, long and even. Heart rhythm remains adaptable. Adaptability is now baseline. If stressors appear later, The body will not rush ahead of them. It will meet them at a measured pace. Measured pacing prevents escalation. Feel the steadiness through the chest again. Not tight. Not collapsed. Balanced tone supports confidence. Breath continues. No guidance required. The system stays regulated. Cognitive urgency has lost its trigger. Thoughts no longer demand immediate action. Demand was the accelerator. Notice how choices feel available again. You can pause before responding. Pausing does not increase discomfort. It reduces it. Breath in. Breath out is less than #0. 1 hash is greater than steady and long. This pause capacity is nervous system based. It is reliable. The body now distinguishes between importance and urgency. Importance can wait. Urgency no longer overrides regulation. Feel the lower body again. Weight remains supported. Support does not fluctuate with thoughts. This reliability anchors calm. Breath continues. Inhale arrives. Exhale remains the anchor. Internal pressure has reduced to background noise. It no longer dominates awareness. Dominance was the problem. Notice how the body responds faster to settling now. Small adjustments produce large effects. That efficiency shortens how long anxiety can linger. Breath in. Breath out, smooth and extended. The exhale continues to cue safety. Safety cues remain consistent. If the day presents uncertainty, the body will not treat it as threat. Uncertainty is processed neutrally. Neutral processing prevents panic loops. Feel the overall tone again. Stable. Responsive. Not driven by fear. Breath continues without effort. The system remains grounded. You remain oriented. This calm is usable and familiar. It supports action when needed. It supports rest when not. Stay with this for a final moment. The last phase will complete the loop cleanly. Nothing needs to be held on to. This state is now stable and available to return to. Nothing else needs to be added to maintain it. It will remain accessible as you move forward. Breath continues naturally. Inhale arrives without attention. Exhale remains longer and even. This pattern is now the default response. Defaults are what matter under pressure. Notice how the body stays open to experience without bracing. Sensation registers without triggering alarm. Alarm required urgency. Urgency is no longer present. Attention remains clear and available. You can engage with what is in front of you. You can also pause when needed. Both actions are supported by this state. Breath in. Breath out, steady and long. Heart rhythm remains adaptable. Adaptability is now maintained automatically. If a moment later today asks something of you, notice how the body responds. There is space before action. That space is regulation in motion. Feel the steadiness through the torso one last time. Balanced tone remains. No tightening. No collapse. Breath continues. No pacing required. The nervous system holds this pattern on its own. Cognitive clarity stays intact. Thinking is slower, not weaker. Slower thinking prevents catastrophic projection. Projection was fueled by speed. Notice the absence of internal commentary urging control. Control is no longer needed. Regulation is already active. Breath in. Breath out, smooth and extended. This exhale continues to cue safety. Safety cues remain consistent across situations. If attention drifts away after this session, the body does not lose this state. It remains in the background. It reappears when needed. Feel the support beneath you again. Ground contact remains unchanged. Stability does not fluctuate with thoughts. This reliability reinforces confidence. Breath continues. Inhale arrives. Exhale remains the anchor. The nervous system now distinguishes clearly between signal and noise. Noise does not escalate. Signals are handled proportionally. Notice how time feels workable. Moments are no longer compressed. There is room to respond accurately. Accuracy replaces urgency. Breath in. Breath out, long and steady. This pacing will reassert itself automatically if stress rises. You do not need to remember anything. If anxiety attempts to return later, it will encounter this stabilized system. The response will be faster and quieter. Relief will require less time. Feel the overall tone of the body now. Grounded, responsive, not driven by alarm. Breath continues without effort. The system remains regulated. You remain present. This is the state you operate from. It supports action, rest, and decision-making equally. It remains easier to return to when challenged. Remain here for one final breath. Inhale arrives. Exhale completes, long and steady. Nothing else is required. This cycle can settle on its own now.